Welcome to The Last Calm Word. Let us get started with today's story. I used to think marriages ended with shouting or slammed doors. Ours did not start that way. Ours began slipping in quiet moments. Little gaps, small pauses, things most people would walk past without noticing. But I noticed everything. My name is Andrew, and for 6 years, Kimberly and I had a steady life. Not perfect, not flashy, but steady. We shared slow Sundays, late-night noodles, and a routine that felt solid enough to trust. Then slowly, something shifted. It started with Kimberly staying later at work. She would come in through the door at odd hours saying, "Long meeting," or "We are behind on a project," then drop her bag and head straight for the shower before talking. Her tone was different. Lighter with others, careful with me. Her phone, once left anywhere, now stayed face down. Even when she went to the kitchen to grab water. One evening, I met my friend Michael at a small bar a block from my office. He watched me sip my beer, studying me like he was trying to figure out a puzzle. "You good?" he asked. "Yeah," I said. "Why would not I be?" He shrugged. Kimberly walked past my building last week. Did not look like her usual self. Seemed distracted. I did not react. I never do immediately. I let things settle first. Later that night, Kimberly walked into our living room, scrolling through her phone. I asked, "Everything okay at work?" She barely looked up. "It is just busy. You know how it is." I nodded, but something about the way she said it quickly, almost rehearsed, stayed with me. There was nothing dramatic happening. No obvious fight to point at, just distance, a quiet kind that does not announce itself. It seeps in. One night, I woke up and noticed the glow of her screen under the blankets while she typed something fast, then locked her phone when she felt me shift. I did not say a word. People think silence means nothing is wrong. But in a marriage, silence has weight. And the weight in our home was getting heavier. That is when I realized the cracks were not coming from noise. They were coming from quiet. The night Kimberly told me about Miami, she did it the same way someone mentions picking up milk. Casual, harmless, almost careless. We were eating dinner at the kitchen counter, just the two of us. She took a slow sip of water, then said, "Oh, by the way, a few of my old college friends are planning a trip next month, Miami." I did not react right away. "Miami? That is random." She shrugged. "They want to do a small reunion. Nothing big, just catching up." I kept my eyes on her, waiting. Something in her voice felt too light, too planned. Then she added it. The real detail, like she hoped I would not notice. "Leonard might come too." I paused. "Leonard, your ex." She blinked fast. "It was years ago, Andrew. Do not make it weird." I did not say anything. "You paused like you are about to," she said, narrowing her eyes a little. I wiped my hands with a napkin. "I just want to understand. Why Miami? Why him? Why now?" Kimberly let out a breath, annoyed. "It is a group thing. Stop acting like it means something. I am asking because you brought it up," I said calmly. "That is all." She leaned back. "You are not going to start being jealous, right? That is not you." "It is not," I said. "I am asking simple questions." She crossed her arms. "Andrew, it is just a trip. I need a break from work. They invited me." End of story. I nodded once. No raised voice, no accusation, no questioning her loyalty. Just a nod. "If it is something you want," I said, "then go." Her expression shifted. Surprise, confusion, maybe even relief. "Good. I thought you would get controlling or something." "That is not who I am," I answered. Later that night, I walked past the bedroom door and heard her laughing on the phone. Soft, excited, the kind of laugh I had not heard from her in weeks. The moment she sensed me nearby, the sound cut off again. I did not say a word, because sometimes the truth does not show up in arguments. Sometimes it shows up in the tone someone uses when they think you are not listening. The weeks leading up to Miami felt like watching a door slowly close while pretending it was still open. Kimberly was not openly hostile, but she was not present either. Conversations shrank. Dinner felt like two people sharing a table, not a life. Every time her phone buzzed, she picked it up fast, smiling at the screen before putting it face down again. One evening, she stood in the hallway packing dresses into a suitcase she had not used in years. I leaned on the doorframe and asked, "So, who exactly is going?" She did not look up. "Same people I told you. College crew. You do not know them." "And Leonard?" She zipped a side pocket. "I told you already. He is part of the group. Do not turn it into a thing." "I did not," I said quietly. She sighed, irritated by my calm. "You always do that." "Do what?" "Ask questions like you are taking notes." I almost smiled. I just like honesty. Kimberly rolled her eyes. "Well, everything is clear. It is 4 days. I will be busy most of the time anyway. Okay, I replied. But I noticed the shift. She was not reassuring me. She was avoiding responsibility. There is a difference. A few days later, I met Michael again after work. He watched me for a while before speaking. She is checked out, he said. You see that, right? I see something, I answered. You are too calm, man. Most guys would be flipping tables. That is why I am not like most guys. He smirked, but did not argue. The morning she left, I drove her to the airport. No tension, no fight, just a strange, quiet disconnect. Kimberly kept scrolling on her phone until we pulled up to the drop-off lane. She leaned over, kissed my cheek quickly, and said, "Do not get jealous while I am gone." I looked at her and replied, "Jealous men make noise. I do not." Her smile faltered for half a second, like she could not tell if it was a threat or a fact. She stepped out, pulled her suitcase behind her, and disappeared into the crowd. I did not text her after she boarded. I wanted to see how long it took her to notice the silence. Kimberly sent her first message 5 hours after landing. Made it. Long flight. 2 hours later. Going to rest. Busy day tomorrow. I did not reply. There was nothing to reply to. The next evening, she wrote, "Exhausted, but I saw something else." I was scrolling through my phone when I saw a post from her friend Fina. A picture of a rooftop bar overlooking South Beach. People drinking, laughing, pressed close under neon lights. Kimberly was in the middle, hair loose, holding a drink, sitting shoulder to shoulder with Leonard. Too close to be casual, too familiar to be innocent. She had not mentioned any rooftop. I did not comment, did not like it, did not react. I just put my phone down. The next morning, Michael sent me a video someone forwarded him. "Thought you should see this," he wrote. I opened it. A short clip. Shaky, but clear enough. Kimberly on a balcony, leaning on the rail, laughing at something Leonard whispered. His hand slid across her back. Slow, confident. She did not move away. She laughed harder. I watched the clip twice, not because I needed proof, because I wanted to see what she looked like when she thought she had nothing to explain. That night, Kimberly texted, "You are quiet." I stared at the screen for a full minute before replying. "Just letting you enjoy the space you chose. No anger, no accusation, just truth." She responded, "What is that supposed to mean?" I did not answer. Hours later, another message popped up. "I will call you tomorrow." I put the phone face down. I was not waiting for explanations. I was not waiting for confessions. I was waiting for the silence to do its job. She did not call the next day like she said she would. She waited until nearly midnight. The phone lit up on my nightstand. Kimberly. I let it ring twice before answering. Her voice came through shaky, softer than usual. "Why are you acting like this?" "Like what?" I kept my tone even. "Like you do not care," she said. "You are being distant." I leaned back against the headboard. "I am paying attention. That is all." "To what?" she snapped, irritation slipping through. "Andrew, you are making something out of nothing." "Fina posted a nice picture," I said calmly. "Rooftop bar. Looked fun. Silence. A long one." Then she spoke defensive. "Too fast. It was a group thing. Everyone was there." "I saw the balcony video too," I added. Her breath caught. "That was not Andrew. That clip was taken at a bad angle. You do not understand." "I understand perfectly." Her tone cracked. "Nothing happened with Leonard." I did not ask if something happened. She paused again, this time longer, softer. "Then what are you saying?" I stared at the wall, voice steady. "I am saying I stopped asking questions you do not want to answer." Her voice dropped. "Are you leaving me?" "No," I said, "but I am done fighting for a place you are not protecting." "Andrew, stop. Do not talk like that." Now she sounded like she was holding back tears. "Are you punishing me?" "If I wanted to punish you," I said, "I would yell." "I am just accepting what you already chose." She sniffed hard, frustration mixing with panic. "I just needed a break." "A break from me?" "I did not say that," she whispered, "but that is what it was." The line stayed quiet long enough for me to hear her breathing unevenly. "Andrew, please do not give up on us." I closed my eyes. I am not giving up. I am stepping back. And before she could respond, I ended the call. 5 minutes later, I opened my laptop, pulled up listings, checked prices, and started planning the move. Not out of anger, out of clarity. Kimberly came home dragging her suitcase through the door like nothing had changed. She called out, "Andrew," the same way she always did. But the tone was different. Tight, uncertain. I was sitting on the couch, a few boxes stacked neatly by the wall. Her eyes locked on them instantly. "What is this?" "I started packing," I said. "Packing?" She laughed once, confused and nervous. "For what?" "For space," I answered. The kind you have been taking without saying. Her smile dropped. Andrew, stop. You are overreacting. I did not argue. Okay. She blinked, thrown off by how calmly I said it. You think I cheated? I think you acted single, I replied. There is a difference, but the outcome is the same. Her jaw tightened. You saw a couple of pictures, and suddenly, you are done with our marriage. I shook my head. I am done feeling like an afterthought. Kimberly stepped closer, hands shaking slightly. It was not like that, Leonard. You do not owe me explanations now, I said. You owed them before you got on the plane. Her face crumpled for a second before she caught herself. I was overwhelmed. I needed a break. I liked feeling noticed. I nodded. It was the first honest sentence she had given me in months. And you did not think it would hit this hard. I said no, she whispered. I thought you would, I do not know, fight for me. I did, I told her. Every day I stayed. You just did not see it. She looked around the room like it was suddenly unfamiliar. The missing photos on the wall. The empty spaces where my things used to be. It all finally registered. You are really leaving? She asked. For now, I said. I need distance. You took yours in Miami. I am taking mine here. She covered her mouth with her hand, trying not to break down. Andrew, please do not do this. I stood up, picked up one of the boxes, and said, You chose your moment. I am choosing mine. And for the first time since she left from Miami, she understood I was not bluffing. This was not revenge. This was the consequence she never planned for. The morning after I moved into a short-term rental, Kimberly started texting nonstop. We need to talk. Please answer. I am sorry I messed everything up. I did not reply. Talking was not going to fix anything. Talking was what she used to keep things from falling apart. Silence this time was the truth. 2 days later, I went to a lawyer's office and started the divorce paperwork. The attorney looked at me over his glasses and asked, Are you sure you want to proceed this quickly? Yes. We filed the documents. When Kimberly received the papers, she called 10 times in a row, then sent one message that told me everything. I did not think you would actually leave. That afternoon, she showed up at Michael, his place looking wrecked. I was not there, but he later told me. She asked if you hated her. He said she was crying in the hallway. I nodded. She is hurting. That is expected. Do you want me to talk to her? No, I said. There is nothing left to explain. And then he told me something that did not surprise me, but confirmed everything. After seeing the divorce papers, she reached out to Leonard like she needed someone to make her feel she had not blown up her life for nothing. But Leonard brushed her off immediately. He told her Miami was just good vibes, nothing serious, and that he did not want any part of her problems. Within days, he stopped replying altogether. A week later, we sat across from each other at the lawyer's conference table. Kimberly's hand shook as she signed each page. She kept wiping her eyes, trying to stay composed. Andrew, she whispered, please do not do this. We can fix it. I kept my voice calm. We cannot fix something you did not protect. She pressed her palms against her forehead. Leonard meant nothing. It was stupid. I did not think you would stop loving me. I did not stop loving, I said. I just stopped begging. That broke her. After the meeting, she followed me to the parking lot crying openly. Now tell me what to do, she pleaded. Anything. I will do anything. I shook my head. We are past that. People think heartbreak happens when someone walks away. Sometimes it happens when someone does not follow. A week after the lawyer meeting, Kimberly posted a photo on social media. A sunset picture with a caption that did not mention me by name, but did not have to. Sometimes you do not realize who loved you most until the silence hits. Friends sent it to me with messages like, You okay, man? What happened between you two? I kept my replies short. We grew apart. It was the cleanest version of the truth. I did not check her profile again after that. I did not block her, did not delete her number, did not erase our history. I just stopped needing any of it. My new apartment was smaller, quieter, far from the life Kimberly and I built, but it felt balanced. I cooked simple meals. I picked up old habits I had dropped over the years. Reading before bed, early morning runs, long showers with no one waiting outside the door. One night, as I sat by the window with a cup of coffee, I caught myself replaying everything, not out of longing, but out of clarity. I remembered the first laughs, the quiet Sundays, the calm years, and then I remembered the shift, the distance, the locked phone, the Miami invitation, the balcony video, and the silence that followed. There was no single moment that ended the marriage. It died in pieces. Little choices, small lies, ignored warnings. Miami was just the part she could not take back. Now, months later, I do not feel anger. I do not feel victory. I feel something simpler. Space. Quiet. A life that does not need defending. People think silence means weakness, but the loudest thing I ever said was nothing at all. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Wishing you all the best. Stay healthy and take care.